Dear Mom and Dad, well, I finally made it to Bar 717 Ranch. The camp is surrounded by mountains and trees as far as the eye can see. It's cooler than I ever imagined. You can't believe how good it feels to be here. My counselor Carly is from New Zealand. She took me to the platform where we'll be sleeping for the next couple weeks and introduced me to all the other kids. The platform is called Ringside. It has beds for our sleeping bags and 3 walls, but one wall is open so you can see the stars at night. There are 7 other kids on my platform. Most of them are from California, but there are a couple of kids from all over the world.
Every morning at 7:30, there's a wake-up bell. That's a signal that it's time to start our day. Breakfast is served outside in the dining area right in the center of camp, under these giant oak trees. First we gather for a moment of silence, then we all sit down for the meal. This morning there was a deer eating apples that had fallen under the trees just a few feet from our table. And later that morning, Jamie and I got so close we could feed them by hand.
After breakfast, we all gather under the apple trees for announcements. It's a time to just touch base before the day really gets into swing. The camp directors tell us about what's going on that day, or about some of the special programs and events going on.
After announcements, we get into the programs. There's all kinds of stuff to do, from pottery to woodworking. You can tie-dye or silkscreen. Last week there was a blacksmithing shop where I made some hangers. There's photography, arts and crafts. Oh, and beading. Today Melissa taught us some circle songs while we made necklaces and bracelets.
And you are beyond the end, and I love you so, 'cause you help me see you in all, is to see you in me.
Today I decided to go on a trail ride. I was a little worried at first, but it's really cool because the counselors get you all set up and tell you how to get the horses saddled and ready to ride. I rode Holster today. He's pretty cool. It feels like you're way up in the air when you're riding on such a big horse. A group of us rode down to the swimming hole, and I got to ride Holster across the river. We went for a mile or so and then came back across the river and then back to the barn. Karen helped me brush and clean Holster and some of the other horses.
It was absolutely, definitely one of the best things that I have ever done with my children, ever. It's just a great, great, free, easy living place to be.
The friends you make here, they last a lifetime. That you can spend a large part of the year away from people, and still, when you see them at camp, it's like you never left them. That's a great feeling, to know that your friends will always be here.
Yeah, Tamaya's been my friend for 5 years, and she's been my friend for the summer.
Jesse and I decided that for the program today we should go riding in the ring. Carly taught us how to get the horse to do jumps. I was a little scared, but they set up the jumps pretty low at first. The horses kind of know what to do anyway. We've been riding and practicing every day since Monday, getting ready for a big show this Saturday. Carly told us we're well on our way to becoming riding experts.
Dad, I gotta tell you, this was great. The Bar 717 has a ropes course. It was so cool. First, they teach you all the safety tips about climbing. I was hooked in twice, so I knew I was safe.
Lock 2! Lock 2!
First you climb like 40 feet up in this tree. Then you walk across this rope from one tree to another. It's a little scary to be so high in the air.
Beautiful. Beautiful job.
How you doing? I'm doing okay.
How you feeling?
A little nervous. Are you sure you're going to catch me?
I'm sure I'm going to catch you. Go ahead and step over on that platform right over there.
Then Mitch helps you on this platform. First you lean over. Now that was an experience.
You ready?
I'm ready. Wow. How do you feel?
I feel like I'm above a lot of ground.
Take a look around.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back in?
Yeah.
All right. That was amazing. Did you take a snapshot in your mind?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Didn't even hesitate. That was absolutely incredible. Go, Emma.
Then you fly down the zip line. That was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done. After riding, we stopped by the small animals area to visit my bunny. Anybody can adopt a small animal and help take care of it while they're at camp. There are also chickens, small pigs, and even a goat. Speaking of that, I got to milk the cow the other day as well. We even had the milk a little later. I don't think I've ever had fresh milk from a cow like that before. It was great.
The other day I got to go on a backpacking trip. We got up early and got all our gear together. And then we headed out to the Trinity Alps. We hiked in the backcountry for 5 days. It's hard to describe how beautiful it was. We had a small group led by 2 counselors, and we slept under the stars in some of the most amazing places I have ever seen. I don't think I've ever hiked up that high before. I think we made it to 9,000 feet or so.
2, 1, yeah! Woo! Go! Oh my God, you're so...
I will never forget that trip.
Today, Kent thought it would be fun to have a picnic down at the homestead, so we spent a little time in the garden picking vegetables. Mom, you wouldn't believe the Bar 717 garden. It has just about everything. In fact, a good deal of the camp's food comes from here. Anybody can come down to work in the garden just about any time. Dad, I think you better sit down first. I think you should know that I actually had a lot of fun just spending time working in the garden. But don't get any ideas. It's different here than at home.
Anyway, we picked a whole bunch of stuff for the picnic. Carrots, cucumbers, and the sweetest corn I've ever had. Then we carried it all down to the homestead. It's such a beautiful place. We got all set up in the late afternoon, and there was this golden light all across the valley. There were horses everywhere, just wandering around. It's almost like they were happy to hang around with us. There's this great old swing by the oak tree. It's hard to describe, but it's just a great place to do pretty much whatever you want to do. Antoine and Kenyad, they're a couple of the counselors here, were hysterical. They made their own barbecued sauce and cooked up a storm. I think they're going to sell it back home. And they should, because everything was great.
Our friends ask us where we're going, and we're like, oh, we're going to camp. They're like, their first reaction is like, oh, my God. Camp. Aren't you a little old? But you're really never too old to come. Like, I'm planning on coming back to be a counselor because I have such a great time here.
Camp is a good place to get away from, like, city life, meet some new people.